Alrighty. So first of all, I want to just say that not only Whitecaps fan was very nervous about this match, especially how it went late in this game, but I was even more nervous when the Whitecaps scored that second goal because if Saprissa would have got that goal back late in this game, that means we would head to extra time. And yeah, I do not want to wait another 30 minutes or more to do this review, especially tomorrow. I have a very long drive to San Diego after work, and I need all the sleep I can get tonight so that I don't want to fall asleep on the wheel while driving the I-5 down to San Diego. But nevertheless, in this game, as I mentioned, yeah, if you're a Whitecaps fan, I think you can definitely take a sigh of relief because man, oh man, they definitely did it the hard way in this game against Saprissa, and in many ways. This game could have easily gone either way. I mean, there were a couple of posts that was hit by Saprissa that could have really changed the outcome of this game. But in the end, I don't think Jasper Sorensen's team would care. They survive and move on into the next round with a 2-0 win and 3-2 overall in the aggregate. Now, in the first half, I just want to mention that the Whitecaps were wearing their special Black History Month jersey. I really love those jerseys, and I'm definitely thinking about getting one of those as well. I always love when teams release a special edition jersey, and that's one that definitely is going to be on my wish list. But in the 6th minute, there was a nervy moment for the Whitecaps straight away, which that kind of just sums up the night for the Whitecaps in this one, where Takaoka basically hits it right into Waston, but the former Whitecaps player couldn't quite control it, and that killed the chance for Saprissa. Yeah, somebody gotta tell Takaoka that Kendall Waston does not play for the Vancouver Whitecaps anymore here, and yeah, that was definitely almost a disastrous start for the Whitecaps coming out of the game. Then in the 11th minute, Valverde basically puts one to Victoria. The Whitecaps had most of the possession. In fact, for a majority of this game, they had like 70+% possession, which is something that is not what we usually see with the Vancouver Whitecaps. But Saprissa was just kind of happy, kind of almost bunkering it, almost like their goal is just play out to a 0-0 draw. And why not? I mean, with the way that at times they trying to bunker in, and the fact that the Whitecaps for most part of that first half, if not in the entire part of the first half, they were being wasteful in front of goal. It looks like they might done just so to ride out a 0-0 draw to heading into the next round. But I also thought that despite the possession that the Whitecaps had, they were at time having problem in terms of dealing with Saprissa's direct play. Saprissa was doing very good when it comes to the direct play early in this game. That, of course, eventually was shut down as the half goes along. Alvarado then denied Vite as that was the Whitecaps' first shot before Guzman would head it wide from the corner. The shots were 4-1 early for Saprissa. So despite the fact that the Whitecap had all the possession, you could say that Saprissa actually had more of the chances and they were looking the more dangerous side. White then had a looping header that goes wide as I thought Vancouver started to get more into this game, especially in the final third as well. One of the reasons why they weren't the better team, at least in the early bit, is they couldn't do anything in the final third. They couldn't really solve the Saprissa defense that was clearly bunkering early in this one. Ahmed then puts it wide from close range in the 32nd minute, and then he had almost a Romel Kyoto moment here where he missed an absolute sitter from 6 yards out. For those of you who don't know the Romel Kyoto reference, obviously, I'll still go back to him missing from 1 yard out in that game that Montreal was involved back in the short season. That's going to go down as probably the worst miss we have ever seen, not only in MLS, but maybe in soccer in general. But here, yeah, Ahmed just missed an absolute sitter from 6 yards out. A classic example. It's harder to miss from that range than it is to score. And really, I immediately wrote, will that moment come back to haunt the Whitecaps? Because this is the problem that they had in the first half and really in the second half as well, besides the goal where they were being so wasteful in front of goal. They probably could have put this second leg affair very early if they would have put away their chances, just like they did against the Portland Timbers. But yeah, that is one that Ahmed not only would at that moment would absolutely want to have back because he should have easily scored that goal. But the Whitecaps would continue to press for the opener goal as Saprissa was sitting deeper and deeper as the game goes along. Now, as the halftime whistle blown, the Whitecaps players they were complaining that there should have been a handball in the wall off of a Berhalter free kick. Now they didn't really show the replay of this because it was hit halftime and FS1 decided that we're not even gonna bother showing the controversial call. But anyway, we do head to halftime with the score scoreless in both of these games. Did I mention this game is on FS1? Yeah, I was a little surprised because I thought it was going to be on FS2. I believe it started on FS2, but then it transitioned into FS1. And also, good to hear John Strong and Stu Holden calling the game as well. Those are two of my favorite national televised commentators. Too bad we don't really hear them anymore because Fox doesn't usually broadcast MLS game, and when they do broadcast MLS game, they don't usually have those two calling the game itself. But that being said, it's scoreless heading into the second half, and it did not take long for the Whitecaps to finally break through. In fact, it only took 59 seconds before Brian White would score from Jaden Nelson to make it 1-0 in favor of the Whitecaps. I'm telling you, this Jaden Nelson kid, watch out. I mean, this is a guy that he has definitely revitalized his career. He's almost at the same point as what we saw with Mark Anthony K a couple of years ago. When remember Mark Anthony K, he was kind of a bust with TFC, and then he went to LAFC, and it just completely revitalized his career. We're starting to see that with Jaden Nelson continue to have an incredible start to the season for this Vancouver Whitecaps team. But yeah, a dream start for the Whitecaps to finally capitalize their chances. Priso did look for another, but he missed high before Ahmed puts it wide from close in the 56th minute as the Whitecaps continue to press for the second and a little bit of more cushion in the two-legged affair. I mean, to be fair, the second goal in some way doesn't really kind of matter for the Whitecaps because Saprissa still just need one to send this to extra time, but they kind of need the second goal because if Saprissa score a goal, now all of a sudden the Whitecaps are basically forced to score another because the away goal rule that's in effect. Waston then had a free header, but he only hit a weak header right to Taco before Acuna puts it wide off the volley. And this is where, I started to remember the RSL versus Haradino game, where I remember that game, RSL had more of the possession and more of the chances, but they just couldn't put it away. And it came back to haunt them in a big way where Haradino score against the run of play. And I thought, oh boy, this feels like it could happen with the Whitecaps too, especially with this game is still up in the balance. Though White did try to score for the second time, but he struck the post from 12 yards out. And again, will that the inability to get the second goal come back to haunt Vancouver? We saw it with RSL. It is going to come back to haunt Vancouver because just as I wrote that, Torres was struck the post from close range, and that won't be the last time we'd see Saprissa hitting the post too. Goal would miss wide from close in the 79th minute because in the 85th minute, the post would deny Waston from the corner. It was not great defending whatsoever from the Vancouver Whitecaps, especially in Tristan Blackman's standpoint. The last man you want to have a good chance on a header and a good look on a header is Kendall Waston. We know what he can do in the air. We saw it all the time in MLS. Hell, the Vancouver Whitecaps fans probably have seen what Waston can do in the air during all his time playing for this team. And yeah, that almost was a moment where it looks like we're seeing RSL versus Herediano 2.0 whatever all over again. But that being said, in the 90th minute, the Whitecaps finally got that cushion second goal as Brian White would score to make it 2-0 in favor of the Whitecaps. And really, Vancouver kind of got a little fortunate here because goal actually hit the post on a pacey kind of strike free kick, but fortunately it fall right into the path of Brian White. And yeah, for once, the Whitecaps get a little fortunate go their way after missing so many chances in this one. But this is also where I kind of got a little nervous because, well, it's not over yet because if Saprissa can just get that one goal, then yeah, now all the sudden this go to extra time, and boy, this is going to be a late review. Luckily, that didn't happen, as in the end, the Whitecaps will win 2-0 in this one. They move on into the next round, which, just like what I said about Seattle and Cincinnati, they unfortunately will have a tough task too, and they probably have maybe arguably the toughest task out of those three teams have to face the likes of Rayados heading into the next round. But the shots in this one, 12 shots for the 16 that Saprissa had, 2 shots on goal for the 3 that Vancouver has. Both teams had 6 shots off target, 1 shot that was blocked for the 5 that Saprissa had, and possession-wise, 64% possession compared to 36% possession that Saprissa has in this game. And if the Whitecaps want to have any chance against Rayados in the next round, they have to play better than that than this in the second leg and in the first leg as well. Because if they play like this against Rayados, yeah, they might not do so well against Rayados. I mean, I know they're going to be really up against it, but these missed chances, they have to show that more clinical finishing. They cannot waste these chances against Rayados, especially when they're not going to get a lot of chance with the likes of Riotos coming into their building. But we'll see how that game, of course, will goes out in a week. But there you have it. That is pretty much it when it comes to the first round matchup. We're now heading into the second round, which won't be actually happening relatively long. I mean, after this match week number 2, CONCACAF Champions Cup action gets underway straight away. We see the round of 16 matchup. We start to see a couple more teams involved. The Galaxy and Columbus both are going to be involving in the round of 16. But until then, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button. As always, let me know in the comments below what do you think of this game. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.